are just ending up at the first stage. They provide the devices for the children, and that is it. They don't progress beyond that point. And they leave the children. And one statement that I felt sad when, more time now, and it's like, well, we just relegate ourselves consciously that, well, it's not our generation, so it's them. Let them do what they want to do because, well, they know. See, so we just draw the line in the sand that, well, we can't do anything to help. Let them progress because it's their generation. You see, and unconsciously, because a lot of these things and kids know that parents are deficient in the knowledge of these things, they take undue advantage of it and do the extremes. You see, so parents should stop exposing their ignorance to their children and like throw hands in the air as if, well, there's nothing we can do. Well, we are old too, we are old age, we cannot learn. You see, as soon as you expose yourself that way, you've given your child a blank check. That means they can do whatever they and hide or open whatever because they know mom or dad is ignorant. And mom openly says it, dad openly says it. So what's the big deal? Whatever we do, nobody's coming to catch us. So parents should really be careful about that aspect of it. And I really think, we'll have to plan maybe a conference or something for parents in the times ahead. We really have to, because the issues is worrying.
Give us some tidbits on how to do some few things.
So we have to plan a conference for parents. And I believe together we can do something.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'll come to you again, Brian Ben. Dear listeners, we are also live on YouTube, as I said, Orange 107.9. Let your comments come, let your questions come. And our WhatsApp line also 0548 501 584. I repeat, 0548 501 548. But we are in the digital era, everybody's on smartphone. Just go to YouTube and type Orange 107.9 FM and you see us live and let your comments start coming in. Reverend Magazine has given us some of the reasons why parents should be tech savvy a little bit. I don't know if you want to add a little bit more to that. She's shared with us that we need to foresee that something is coming. She has given us much of the some insights that parents don't sit aloof. Do you want to add a little bit there as well?
My plea even is to be abreast of where we are now before they can even foresee because the level of ignorance is a bit high. It's a bit high. So people have no idea the levels at which the technologies are moving, that very fast pace and all that. So I believe parents should start showing interest in knowing what is happening. You see, we shouldn't just be comfortable in our ignorance. No, because ignorance indeed can be very deadly, especially in these times we are in. So parents should put in the necessary measures to know, at least ask the right people you think can help you. Because if you go back to the children, it's not advisable in this instance. So, you see, I believe churches have a role to play, like as I just said, organizing something and all. You see, because there should be information dissemination at least to let people know. So this program, for instance, those listening to it are getting some insights. You see, so there should be more of such things at churches and groups, women's fellowship, men's fellowship, so that parents can be taught about some basic, not that we are teaching you how to code, no, that's the extreme side, but the fundamentals, knowing this is what is happening, this is, for instance, there are people who, if you mention some of the social media side, they've not even heard the name before. So imagine your child is talking at home and is mentioning these names, and yet you don't even know what it is. So it's like you are just being sold at home by your children, and you are just there.
Among them, they are doing things you are not aware.
Imagine now a parent who's not even heard what TikTok is, so doesn't know TikTok. So the children at home are saying TikTok, and he is thinking it's just some old school TikTok, just the sound TikTok. Not knowing that they are talking of a platform where videos are being uploaded and all that. You see, so this is an example of the lack of knowledge that we are talking about. And you see, the biggest challenge that is confronting us now is the issue of lack of self-control. Even the general society, there's lack of self-control as a problem. Not even the IT alone or like the technology and social media, no, but normal societal weakness now is lack of self-control. So people are just free to do whatever they without restraints. They can't just stop themselves. They just feel like moving. They are moving. They just feel like going. Doing their. So that open-ended thing has crept into the digital space as well. So you give a child a phone, and if you don't put in measures, he can be on this phone for 12 hours. I was told of a case, a friend told me, this neighbor who the child can be on phone till 1 a.m. And that morning, 1 a.m., the child is going to school in the morning. So can you imagine the impact this will have on this child's academic life? Because a child being on phone from 4 p.m., 4 p.m. when she comes from school, be on phone whilst eating combination, will not sleep till 1 a.m. And then in the morning, waking up by 6, going to school again. When it comes 4, the cycle continues. So, the harm that this child is suffering clearly will go a long way to affect the academics. And we'll get into it. It's not just the academics. I'll read, or let me just...
just go ahead. Just go ahead.
Briefly, one research that was done in the US. This was reported by Fox News. So this was June 21st, 2003. The headline is Spike in Teen Depression Aligns with Rise of Social Media. New poll suggests it's not going anywhere. And it's quite worrying because they asked 3 questions. 1, I can't do anything right. I do not enjoy life. My life is not useful. And the statistics are worrying. You see, quickly, the share of teens who agree with these 3 phrases has doubled over the past decade, according to an annual poll conducted by the University of Michigan. And one expert asserts that the increase in depressive symptoms is tied to the rise of social media. You see, because of time, I'm not going to the full report, but then, just an example, girls are struggling with depression because they are seeing their friends post beautiful pictures after church. They post, some BNC class, put it on, social media. Then one friend, so friend A will get 500 likes, 200 comments, and then this other girl also after church takes a picture without, not near a nice car, just beside a tree or something, or flower. Post it, and church closes at 10 p.m. By 4 p.m., today, 4 p.m., still not even one like. So it's like in the evening as she's going to sleep. Now the mind moves into the overdrive. Why are people not commenting? Why are people not liking? Then that means I'm not beautiful, or the dress is not nice, or the environment is not nice. So now the mind just buzzes. And this is now moving these girls into depression because, so you see, this girl naturally is okay, beautiful and everything, the dress is nice. But because maybe her circle of friends are not the type who are just interested in whatever she was wearing or whatever. So because people say you are not beautiful, by not commenting or liking, you think you are not beautiful. So this affects the mindset, the psyche of the girl because now we are in a system where you expect people to say it before you believe it. So even though you know you are beautiful, you want people to say it, to affirm it before you really believe you are beautiful. So it's affecting the girls. And depression, there are instances of suicide. Yes, there are cases, reported cases of suicide which were attributed to these depressive moods based on social media. Sometimes this cyberbullying comments, somebody, so maybe nobody is commenting and then maybe one naughty boy will come and write, but you cry, you are not fine.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine the harm is like a blow to this girl because already she was, struggling and battling with the thought that,
nobody has commented on her
and then
picture.
Now one comes and says, but you are not fine. Maybe joking, but this is not a joke to this girl. And someone can commit suicide because of this.
Yes.
You see, so the harm this thing is causing is too much that parents have to be very, very alert about it. You see, we should just forget about the fact that everybody is doing it, so let's allow them. I believe in the last few weeks, I've been reading and doing a lot of research on the mind and thinking and our thought patterns and all that. And my approach to addressing some of these things, I'm realigning it to first address it from the mind point of view. Instead of just talking. Let's approach it from, let's sit down with the person and address it, the issue of the mind, the thinking, by first extracting information. So why do you want to be on social media at this age? You see, when we start from that angle, we can solve the problem better.
Yeah.
So why? You ask the child, why do you want to be on social media at this age? Then the answers will come. Oh, all my friends are there. I want to know what is happening. I want to see the latest trends. I want to see the latest this and that. Ask the boys, why do you want to engage in this football betting, sports betting? You see, ask them, elicit information. Then now that informs you, the parent or the guardian, in addressing based on the spirit, the leading of the spirit with wisdom and the knowledge that you have to be able to address it well. Because if we don't really extract information from how they are really thinking, we can't solve the problem.
Yeah.
Because now, see, psychologists will tell you the way the person is thinking is what is, and even the Bible says it, as a man thinks, so is he. So you see, if the person is thinking this way, and what you are saying is opposite, it doesn't matter until there is a renewal of mind, the person will not change.
Yes.
So now we have to revise the way we approach this thing and rather address the thinking, the mindset. How is the person thinking about internet? How is the person thinking about social media? Video games, all these devices, how is the person thinking about it? Then when you see, because if, let's say example, you ask the child, why do you want to be on social media?
Yeah.
And he says, all my friends are there. Then now you know that to address it, if, you are discussing this in a Christian perspective, or Christian family, Christian home, then get into the Bible. You can pick two scenarios, Daniel and then the three Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, as case studies of being alone, independent in a situation where everybody is doing it. So in the case of Daniel, everybody is not praying. You alone, you want to pray. In the case of the three Hebrew boys, everybody should bow. You alone, you are not bowing. So the consequences for not being part of the masses can be great, to the point of death in both cases. But then they stood their ground. In this case, you not being part of the masses is not even equating to death. But now you explain the dangers. As we are talking of the effect, I will get further as we go on, the psychological effect and all that. So now when you're able to explain that, yes, everybody is going there, but you are not everybody. Everybody is having an account, Facebook, this. But you shouldn't be like everybody. You shouldn't seek to be like everybody. Because now in this world, you can confidently say that everybody is wrong, the masses are wrong, the majority is wrong.
Mercy. Thank you so much. So I'll come to you again, Brian, but let me go to Reverend. Reverend, we are still talking about some of this negative impacts of social media on family. So I want you to add a bit more about it. But before you do we or digitization, is there any positive side to it? Okay, then maybe you can mention one or two on the positive side. Then also as a mother who has all this, I know your case, some are teens and some are young adults, you can tell what is the effect. Emma started the negative aspect of the suicide and all these things. I remember at Ibrahim, one of your shows, I heard where you were sharing, a lady was telling a guy, oh, just kill yourself. Then the guy just went ahead. You know, that's, I was just screaming when I was listening to you. So Reverend, you can add a little bit to that and also give us some advice as we go ahead about the negative aspect. Just may God open our eyes to see the pointers as well.
So first of all, I think you asked if there is any positive side. Yes, there are lots of positive sides. I mean, because
we don't want our listeners to know that we are bashing digitization.
Oh, we are not. That's why I started by saying that I myself, I am a very technological person. So I wouldn't bash it for any reason. For instance, let me just say that my students just took preliminary SAT tests from grade 7, that's equivalent to JHS 1, to grade 11, equivalent to SHS 2. They just took their SAT, and they've now gone digital. It's no longer paper.
Wow.
So they had to download an app and then use that app to take the test in school. It made it so much easy for us. They were timed individually, and I mean, for me, it was like one of the easiest times. Because anytime we are writing the PSAT, it's a hassle. I have to have proctors, I have to have this, I have to have a lot of people there. We have to, then afterwards, filling out paperwork, I have to send it to UPS, to send it in a whole bunch of stuff. So it's been very, very simplified. I could sit behind, I have hall monitors there. I have one proctor per class in there, and then I sit behind my PC in my office, and I can monitor where the children have reached as far as their test is concerned. I mean, is that not easy? So it was even easier where there's no pencil and shading, and you didn't shade well, and you have to erase it, and make sure the mark has gone, you know. So it was a burden lifted for me.
Beautiful.
And you see, one thing about the app too that they use now, SAT's Blue Book app, right now, when you open the app, everything else is shut down. So they can't even move from that app to anywhere on the computer to cheat. So if there's somebody there watching them, they can't go online to cheat. They can't do anything, you see. So, I mean, it was one of the easiest things for me.
That's beautiful.
So I love the digital. But there has to be guidance.
Exactly.
That's all we are saying. If it was not for social media like WhatsApp or all these other platforms that we have, Facebook, I wouldn't have access to my children in the US. They wouldn't have access to me in real time. They can just call. We see face to face. We are chatting. Some of these things happen. I need to send a message to them. Immediately, it's gone. Yeah. You see, so it's important. It is good. Aside from that, you know, when you go to Facebook, you get to connect with students from mates from way back in 1980 something. You see, so these things are good. But we need to put measures in place.
Thank you, Mami Osofo. Thank you, Mami Osofo.
So the measures that we need to put in place is we are telling parents that put these measures. Know the various platforms that are there. When I heard of Snapchat, I decided to go and figure out what Snapchat is. Oh, true. Oh, yeah, I decided to go and figure out what Snapchat is. You know, and all the kids are on Snapchat. So I had to do a research. I found out about Snapchat. Yeah. You know, and Snapchat is just sending pictures back and forth.
And that's where the problem comes in.
Yes.
What type of pictures?
It started with just sending pictures. Now I think you can do videos and conversation and things like that. Wow. That's why it says Snapchat. So it's your picture. You snap your picture and then the other one snaps, and that's how it is Snapchatting with your snaps. Okay. In my research, when Snapchat just first came, I realized that somebody can be in their home and somebody in the US can tell where you are. Yes. So they can just look on the Snapchat ad and they can detect where the child is.
Yeah, geolocation. So, yeah.
Yes. Snapchat had that feature. I don't know if it still has it because I haven't been on it. And you have to turn it off. You have to turn something off in the app so that you are not seen. Disable something so you are not seen. Yes, and they showed me. Your picture shows that this is where the person is. So look at the danger this poses for our kids.
Can just use it.
And that's what the predators were doing. Yeah. They were using it to predate on our kids. Way back in probably about 10 years ago, we had one of our youth camps, and when we have our youth camps, I do the technology talk. And I remember there was a movie. And part of this, my work with young people leads me to look for movies. So I look for movies in all areas. And one of the movies was, I think, Finding Faith or something like that. I've forgotten the title. But it had to do with a student who was kidnapped based on having a conversation with somebody online.
Yeah.
So they traced the girl on her way to school, and it was like a young person that she was, because the person showed a picture of a young person that she was chatting with.
It's a lie, right?
It's a lie.
Oh yeah. They always hide.
They do it all the time. But it poses the picture they put in is a picture, they talk, of a child, of a young person your age. They'll tell you this is the grade that I'm in, and all those things. And the child is chatting with the person. Oh, so where do you live? And then ignorantly, she gives her information where she lives. And of course, like I said, Snapchat, it can tell you where the person is. So as time was going on, they looked for her, came to her, and they were chatting with her the day she was kidnapped. Thank God it was Christian parents with a lot of prayer from the church and all those things. But it was a real life movie that was acted out. You see, so I always use that when I'm having my technology talks with them. You see, our children are so ignorant of these things. There are safety things that you can put in place. You see that even on WhatsApp right now, they have now new features. They have a way on the where WhatsApp is now like your friend, and it gives you information where the new features that are in all the time. Okay, and then it tells you what to disable if you don't want if you want your privacy. But children don't look at those things. So if you, the parent, you are not aware of these things to prompt your child that yes, you want to be on WhatsApp, or you want to be on this, but make sure that you turn this feature on. And you need to take their phones or whatever gadgets that you have given them. I advise you not to give a phone to a child under 17 years.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Under 17 years, the child
Parents,
has no
are you
business having
listening?
a smartphone. If you think
Under
you want
17,
to reach the child, find a yam for your child. If it's for reaching, say, because sometimes they say that, oh, my child has gone to school, I want to be able to reach my child, or there are those excuses. But give the child a yam, not a smartphone. Because with the smartphone, there are safety measures and there are ways to check on them and all those things. But most often, these children, they are very, very smart. They can get into the back door and you wouldn't even know. So I don't advise giving your child a smartphone under 17. Previously, it used to be under 16. I added 1 year to it.
I know some children out there will not be happy at all, but it's for your own good.
It's for their own good. It's for their own good.
If it's reaching mommy and daddy, the young phone is there.
Young phone is perfect.
Yeah,
And
because
I have the
smartphone-
young phone for my son for the longest time. And then when he just turned 17, I said, oh, this boy now, he's become a bit responsible.
Exactly.
So let me give him a smartphone. And then I regretted giving the smartphone to him.
You can't
But
say
I've
you were
already
gay.
done it. So I pray, Lord, please don't let him be obedient, not to go where he's not supposed to. But I've put certain
Hallelujah.
family safety features on there,
Okay.
so that he can't download something until I give him permission, and I am able to see where he is
You see,
in real
this is
time.
what,
and all
Reverend-
those
Yeah,
things.
that's why if we do a
Every-
conference, we
we
really
teach
show
Yeah, we
the
teach-
steps.
exactly.
So that I mean, seriously, there's a lot of knowledge that people have to learn as parents now,
Yes.
because we just can't be walking blind
No.
and not know the dangers that our children are holding their phones in their hands and all that.
Parents
You know-
listening, do you know where to go to put a family feature on your smartphone? I'm learning new things today. Oh,
And you see, we don't want to pay for some. There's some of them you have to pay for it to get a very good service, but we don't want to pay for that. We say, hey, I'm paying every month for this thing. I don't want it. But
child.
you see, the reason why, how I even got, that was what gave me the confidence to give my son the phone, because my sister could just, because she just picked it and she said, I've switched off her phone. I've switched off their phone. She's online right now. I've turned it off. I was like, hey, what feature is that?
Parental control.
I said, what features is that? So download this app, family, whatever. I'll look for it and then I'll put it. I'll say it later. But family something safety. I think there are a few of those apps there.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, oh, okay, how much do you pay a month? Then she told me how much. I said, well, Microsoft has one. But you see, but at least I'm monitoring something.
Yeah.
The other day I was looking for him. I just checked his phone where he is, and then I called him. I said, where are you? And then he said, I'm here and here and here. I said, oh, okay. He's speaking the truth.
Word
He
of
is
knowledge.
there.
Word of integrity. My goodness.
There are a lot of things that parents we need to know.
Yeah.
If you hear of any new thing that, and you will hear of it, TikTok, go and download the TikTok app. Try in conversation with your children. Oh, are you on TikTok? Wow, I hear that a lot of your friends are on TikTok. So what's your name that you use on TikTok? Get it. Go and follow them, because they will not. You see, this is how ignorant some of the kids are. They will not put any measures on them, so anybody anywhere can follow them, because they want likes.
Yeah.
They want their videos to go viral. You see, so they don't put certain measures on them. So you can just go ahead and you just follow them. And then you see what they are doing. But you need to know all about TikTok, the things that are on TikTok. You see, there's one thing about TikTok that I found out. I just went on there when I heard that some students were on TikTok and posting videos. I said, let me go and see what's on there. When I went on there, once you open the app, it's suggesting videos.
Yeah.
It's suggesting videos. And when you click go back, it's giving you another video.
Yeah.
You can't control it all.
It's impossible.
You cannot control it. It's the minute you open the app, it's suggesting videos. I want to just go and look at things that I want to. It's not like that. It's suggesting videos.
So both
this
good
is
and
if your
porn and
child is
whatever.
on TikTok, imagine every time she opens the app, there are suggested videos that are coming. And some of the things that
The
come,
good,
it's
the
like,
bad, the ugly, the
yeah,
nasty,
yeah.
the demonic.
This is where there should be family dialogue
Yeah.
about it. At what age should they even be on social media?
Exactly.
You see,
Exactly.
I mean, for the danger with social media is the effect. Scientists, psychologists, and all, they've concluded, based on scientific analysis, to conclude that the effects of being on social media and the feelings that you get, the chemical that's called dopamine, that is secreted in the brain, that gives satisfaction and feel good. I mean, that feeling is the same as people on heroin and other drugs.
Yes.
The hard drugs. That feeling that they get is the same as the feeling that you get when you're on social media and you want likes. You feel when people comment, and so you log on and you see the comments, likes. That feeling, that excitement is equated to the same as people who that feeling they get being high, and the secretion of dopamine in the brain is what amounts to that. Let me just read this short statement on it. It says that so the chemical dopamine at levels higher than typically observed in response to natural rewarding stimuli. The surge of dopamine teaches the brain to repeat the rewarding behaviors, helping account for the use. So it's like now that's where the addiction comes in.
Yes.
So the feeling you got being there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, oh, okay, then let me go back again. Tomorrow, let me go again. Then the addiction cycle forms. And psychology shows that after 21 days of repeating something consistently, it becomes a habit. See, so this is where parents have to understand what is happening. There is not just pictures and videos and comments. No, there is a chemical aspect in the brain that is being secreted and activated. And it's negative because dopamine, actually, if you research on it, it even influences sleep pattern and all that.
Yeah.
So that's why now you realize they can't sleep because the mind is also focusing, has someone commented, has someone liked, was the comment a good or a bad one? Then let me go and see and delete. So now it's like the mind is just moving to and fro about the feeling he got from being on social media and then the consequences. So the mind is now confused and can't sleep, and it's having effect on them. Sleep pattern is confused, is affected. Then it runs into academics, it runs into other social issues. See, so it's not just about, oh, don't go on social media. We have to now let them understand why you should wait till you are of age a bit And then even adults are struggling with this dopamine effect.
Yes.
Not only teenagers and children. No. This one is all users who cannot regulate themselves. So those eventually realize, so even adults are now, you employ people in work and they work 2 minutes, social media 5 minutes, because the mind is, the effect of dopamine is driving them to go back again and see if someone is commenting. So even adults is a problem now. So people have to understand that this whole thing should be in moderation.
Yes.
If you don't set, so personally, I'm not active on any social media at the moment, except for my normal WhatsApp. But if you are to be on this, then set times for it. So let's say, okay, in the morning, I'll be there for, you set your time, I want to be there for maybe 15 minutes, check any important things, maybe your friends' birthdays and all that, okay. Make sure then you control yourself.
Yeah,
Self-control, self-discipline.
Yeah.
Is the fundamental success story if you can be, victorious in this whole discussion we're having.
Yeah.
Minus self-control and self-discipline, forget it.
But how do we impart this virtue into our children?
Yeah, so it should be taught. It should be taught.
So how do we impart this virtue? We need to teach our children about self-control. One of the things that the Lord laid on my heart, and I did with my students, is talking to them about being controlled by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Fruit of the Spirit.
Being filled by the Spirit and being controlled by the Spirit. And as a matter of fact, that's our theme for this school year. And the whole idea is that if once the Holy Spirit controls your actions and your thoughts and all those things, that's what the Bible says in Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2, that they need to have a renewal of mind. And that is when the Holy Spirit is within you. One of the things that should automatically come out is self-control. So we need to teach our children that self-control is something that if you're a child of God, you need to do it. You need to work on it. You need to be controlled by the Spirit of God. You need to listen to the voice of God. And there are times that He will tell you to lay your phone away. Do a phone fast. Don't go on social media. Stay off. See, the warnings come all the time. So we need to help our children understand that there are dangers. There's a time for everything, as Ecclesiastes says. There's a time for everything. There's a time to learn, and then there's a time to play. So there's a time to be on social media. There is a time to be with your books. These are some of the things that we need to get to actually see. And the problem is that we don't relate with our children as we should. We don't talk with our children. So anything that is coming is atiatia. And you see, children will
helicopter
rebel.
parent.
Not that one cries, not helicopter parent, but yelling at them at everything. You see, so the child was not comfortable to come to you, for you to even have a time to discuss the dangers or the benefits of being on here. But if we take our children as their children, love them as our children, have time for them and speak to them and explain things to them, gradually, because with the help of the Holy Spirit and the Holy Spirit being in them, they will understand, and then they'll begin to control themselves from these things. But I believe that one of the things that we can really do to help our children is just we knowing the various things, the problems and the dangers that these things pose, and then teaching them ourselves. Let's not leave it to somebody to teach them. I was just reading something, something that passed by on my phone that I was looking at, and it was talking about how our children are being indoctrinated by Google. You know, they go online and then they go and type in certain questions, and then it starts giving them
possible answers.
Not possible answers.
Real
it tells you that
this
is what it is.
Yeah.
You see, and when it gives you the answer, and some of the answers are so bad.
Yeah.
You know, because these children have things that and I like the fact that Breben was talking about the fact that some of these children we need to start talking to them from the mind. Because they have a lot of questions about a lot of things.
Yeah.
If your little child comes to you and begins to ask you questions, And then you are telling them, oh, you talk too much. Quiet, you talk too much. Hey, this one is adult information. Please keep quiet. And you don't want to answer them. They'll go and Google it somehow. Or they'll ask somebody. And then the person that they'll ask will give them wrong information. I was just reading, they said there is a book that Oprah Winfrey is pushing, which is something about asking God questions or something.
I see.
There's a book if I can find the name of the book, I will put it up. But it's talking about finding God. They said it's being pushed by scholastic books. It's pushing that book for children. And questions for God, I think that's the name of the book. And what it is that in the book, it's like children have asked God questions. Some of the questions one of the questions that, what does it mean? Is it okay to be a lesbian? Is one of the questions that is asked. And then the answer that is given is that it is perfectly okay. Because when you start to have a finish, that it means that you were born that way. And look at the answer that book is giving. And this book is out. So you see, our children, one child may find that book, give it to your child or must have read it somewhere. Yeah. Your child goes to ask that question from their friend or whoever it is, and then they give them such an answer. And you, the parent, your daughter or son comes to ask you that who is a lesbian because they've heard the word.
Yeah.
And then you just keep quiet, shut up. This is
You have to address the issue.
You have pushed your child to go and get the wrong information. Yeah. So the relationship that we build with our children is very important, so that we can feed into them and we can give them and we can indoctrinate them what we want them to know, what we want them to understand, the truth of God's word. We have to give it to them. Or when they go online, they'll go and pick all sorts of things. So the work of parents in this digital age is very, 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 very important, that we should know what is going on as far as all these social media handles are concerned. Bra Eben, he reads wide. He's always checking information. He's not on he doesn't have those apps. He's not on those social media platforms. But he's read. So he knows what is there. So he can guide his children. Yeah. That this is not something that maybe you don't read, but you have that app. Go and check the features. Go and find out about information about these things. There is this social media called Clubhouse. A lot of even churches are using Clubhouse it's sort of like a podcast, or you can go on and do prayer and all those things. But I found out, I decided I wanted to use Clubhouse for my one of my ministries, so that I go on there, because it's like, it's a good thing where you can go and you pray on it and all those things. I decided to use Clubhouse. When I signed up for the thing, and I was encouraging my young mentees to sign up for Clubhouse so that they can. Then I realized that you can join any house, and you see they give you suggested houses.
My God!
And the suggested clubhouses, some of the ones that are coming, and this is live. It's streaming live.
Oh boy.
Find a girlfriend here. Find a this here, and you can't. There is. Mercy. Jesus. Immediately, I put a message on the WhatsApp group that the Clubhouse, we are no longer having our meetings on Clubhouse. So, Clubhouse has been closed down. Don't register for Clubhouse. Reverend is laughing.
Oh no, you see, the traps online.
It's mega.
You see, so this is an adult who has discernment and has control to do or not to do, stop and all that. So if someone with weak self-control and hasn't got discernment and all that just falls into the trap. See, a friend of mine in Texas, Houston specifically, went to the daughter's room, and the daughter was not asleep. Apparently that day, the daughter hit the phone. So sometimes she really surprises them, just buzzes into the room without knocking. See, they say that's American tender parent privacy, not in his house, in their house. So she just And even when they go to school, she will go and sweep under the bed, search, lift the mattresses to be sure that there are no contraband issues.
Contraband issues.
So that day she just buzzed into the room, 1 a.m. and the girl was chatting, Snapchat, with a certain man in Australia.
Oh my goodness.
So I mean, it was a big issue. So investigated that, then eventually now they have to change the rules at home. So all tablets, all phones have to be deposited in the parents' room.
Massive.
You see, so now they've set a time slot for doing homework on the computers, the laptops that they have to use for school work and all that. Their personal tablet to play or something. See, regulates the times. So it's now a fixed time, no negotiation. You finish, come and put it down. If it's not at the assigned place for all devices, questions to be answered. You see, because if you don't really regulate these things and you just give them the free will, whenever you are tired, bring it. They'll be tired the next day. Because you see, the dopamine feeling is adrenaline, everything combined, they will just, they won't get tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't. A child that has gotten a tablet with the favorite games on will not get tired. Will play and play and play extensively without control.
Yeah.
So you see, if you say, play for 1 hour, and you don't insist that it's exactly 1 hour, it will go 5 hours. You see, so parents, you see, we are not saying that don't let them enjoy, play little games here, no, but it should be under regulation and controls.
Okay. So, dear listeners, I know our conversation is going deeper and deeper, so beautiful. We have about 15 more minutes. So now I want to crystallize it now. What should parents do to help our children? Because whether we like it or not, I've taken it and it's seriously that no personal smartphone before age 17. I mean, it's a done deal, written down.
I support that.
I mean, no, you can't.
I support
yes, because of some of these things that you are sharing with us. So, want to crystallize. Starting with Brian Eben before I finish with Reverend. Exactly, what are some of the specific things parents should do? We've spoken about, of course, we knowing a little bit technology, so let's just crystallize some of these. I've listed a number of things here that basically we some will have 3 things. I need to make sure that I put in some of these strict things. It's not easy, but I'm learning more to help because the kids can easily bribe you. And now, Auntie Tisha, we have a research to make. Or they're giving us homework.
I'm suffering.
Okay, so take the phone or take the laptop. And so for us, you had a laptop for you say, hey, but I thought you were doing a research. What have you? Then the self-control. So what should parents do? Christian parents, because we want to save our children from this gargantuan thing called digitization and technology. The negative side, definitely. Yeah.
I believe the first approach now is let's talk about the issue.
Yes.
As a family, at home, parents, children, together. You see, it shouldn't be about just setting rules and then rules. No. It's about communication. Effective communication is the key. Because you see, it depends on, in my case, the way I've communicated these things to my children, there's no war at home. They understand why they shouldn't do or they shouldn't watch, they shouldn't. You see, when the understanding is there, they gladly comply with the rules. Understanding. You see, so, and understanding will come only when there's effective communication. You see, so parents should understand that we have to communicate with the children on these issues. But before you can communicate effectively, you should have your facts. That's what the issue is. So the lack of knowledge on the side of parents is where the imbalance, because these children are now high advanced in knowledge in these things than most parents. So before you call for the meeting, if you don't have your facts, they know that because the questions that will come from your floor of parliament at home, you can't answer them. You see, so I believe the dialogue should be there, even when you don't have the technological know-how and enough statistical information and all that. just expresses from the side of a caring parent, a Christian parent who is concerned about the social impact, the dangers, the harm, the addiction, approaches from that angle, discusses at that angle, and they would understand. Because you see, addiction, the examples I gave of children not sleeping and all that, affecting the academics, if you have to talk to school owners, head teachers and teachers, there are a lot of case studies, a lot of cases of children whose performances are purely linked to device usage, games and all these things. So address it from that angle. Let them understand that it's for their good that you are calling this meeting. It's for their good that you want to help them regulate these things. Where you've bought the things already, then that's where the regulation comes in. Where you've not bought it, now discuss when it should be bought. Because the when is important now, because sometimes the pressure they'll put you, they said that fear of missing out is more of a freeze. Everybody is there. I'm not there. Oh, mommy, all my friends are there. So it's like they are being left out there in the technological race, and they are the old school, and that means they are poor. People think these things.
Let them. I won't catch you. My son came and said that, oh, mommy, at school, everybody was writing their personal telephone number. I'm one of the few boys that have used our parents' number. I say, oh, that makes you unique.
Yes. You see, at the right age, you get, but
you get
you
it.
Are not there. You see, so let it be not being bully, not like the bully approach of imposing, but let it be in a dialogue. And as Reverend said earlier, we are failing in communication at home. In a lot of homes, there's no proper communication. So now, when a parent is bringing topics like this, it's like, the dictator has come to set rules. Don't go. But you see, let's disabuse that mindset from the children. Let them now see it as you are coming from a caring point of view, a loving point of view as a parent. Now let's discuss it. What are their issues? Elicit information from them. Why are they resisting? Why don't they agree with what you are saying? And then based on that, even if you don't have the answers for them, seek the answers from someone who can help you, so that at least you postpone the agenda meeting to be continued. You go and get your information to give them the appropriate information, the answers. And then quickly, the next one is we should not underestimate the effect of the mind psyche. Because you see, all that is happening now, society is changing their mindset. Yes. Society is changing the mindset of this generation. And the mindset is formed by the input of information. What are they seeing? What are they hearing from their friends, from the billboard, from society? This is all because society is feeding them with the negatives. We now, as parents, have to ensure that we also conscientize them and feed them with the positives. So, yes, everybody is going. Now, also explain to them why everybody going is not making it right. Because everybody is going, does not mean they are all right. So, why are you alone here? And you alone are not going? Why are you the only one not having this? Why are you the only one not traveling? You see, let them understand the whys they are the singular in the situations they find themselves in. And let them see the positive side of it and how it is for their own good. Because in the times ahead, you realize that all the masses following the wrong things will pay a price for it. Oh yes, you see, there's nothing like the mind that is distorted will certainly pay a price in the actions that will follow in the years ahead. So if we don't help them to have a proper framework in terms of the mindset, help them and guide them the biblical way, the godly way, the worldly wisdom and all that combined, and we just leave them autopilots, eventually, now in the last 3 weeks, I had instances of dealing with some clients, the IT managers and all, and I just asked myself, so these people, the university that they went to, what was the use? The even common sense is not even there. The person says he's an expert in this, but even common sense, not even talking of the scale itself, the common sense is even not there. And it's like, so should we now even help you to think before you can even do the work you are supposed to do? You see, and the effects, all these things is cumulative. So all these negative things is adding up And so I have a friend who says this generation is becoming as if they are stupid. And truly, that's what is happening. It's as if people are robots now. They can't think for themselves. It's like, well, they say we should go, so we are going. Why are you going? I don't know why I'm going. But the system says everybody is going, so go. But why are you going? Because we are not asking questions. Sadly, our educational system is also not helping in asking questions. So we don't, I mean, last time I spoke of the critical thinkers and analysis and all those things. So they fear to even ask questions. So they say you should go, okay, we are going. But you should be able to ask, why are we going and where are we going? So they say go, but where are we going? We don't know where we are going. They say we should go. That's what is happening now with this social media and this tech thing. Everybody is just using it and doing it, but as to why what is the end point, they don't know. They don't know.
Yeah. So, Reverend, our time is almost up, if not up already, but I'm giving some time to crystallize it and also advise parents from a pastoral point of view as Christian parents, what we should do to help our children so we don't fall prey to pornography, to betting, to being kidnapped, and all these things. So we can rather promote the positive side of digitalization.
Yeah. My brother Eben has basically said a lot on the side of what parents should do. But one of the things I want to tell parents is that, yes, as Christian parents, let us get to know of Christian sites, Christian programs, Christian games, things that will enhance our children as far as their Christianity is concerned. Yeah. There are online applications on there which are built by Christians for Christians, which you can have your children have access to. I remember my daughter met on our way to the US one time. My two daughters, they met a young lady. They were singing the VeggieTales songs.
Oh, okay.
As we were waiting in Dubai, my daughter started singing the VeggieTales songs. The two of them started singing it. So there was a girl sitting next to them who kept looking at them, and then they got into a conversation. And then she said, "Oh, you grew up on VeggieTales." My daughter said, "Yes, we did." And I said, "That's all my parents made me watch is VeggieTales." She said, "So we know all the songs, but then they started reciting. Bob said this, and this one said this, and this one." And then they were so excited, and they were in a whole conversation, and they made friends right there. Because of VeggieTales. Yeah. It is there. It is building. It is putting virtues in our kids. Yeah. The kids love them. Those things are available. VeggieTales and those cartoons. And aside from that, there are now many other ones that are very good, wholesome Christian cartoons there that your kids can watch. Yeah. And all these things need to be done under guidance. Yeah. You need to start from an early age for them to get used to it so that they don't desire to do other things or watch other things. And then also, as a Christian parent, let us also encourage our children at this age to go into technology, to learn to create apps. Now children go and learn to code. Coding and those things. Let's help them to learn to create apps because we have left all these things to the non-Christians. And that is why we have a lot of garbage and other things all over. But if we can now begin to advise our kids to go, as we're talking about what they should do in the universities there. These are some of the things that we need to be advising our kids as Christians, because we need to get Christians in this field so that we can put out positive things for Christians to be able to use. Not just Christians, but if it is attractive enough, others will want to use it, because there are a lot of Christian cartoons there, but it's not attractive for our kids. And that is why they always end up watching other things. Aside from cartoons, there is this thing that my children like to watch. It's like somebody who is doing inventions and creating some plenty things. And my youngest son likes to watch such things. He likes cooking and inventions and all those things. They call it Dude Perfect or something. That's on YouTube. He just goes and he's watching. He can watch it back to back. If a Christian is doing something like that, at least there is something positive that is going. So when we are going to make videos to put out on there, we should teach our children that do videos that will promote Christianity, promote Christ, be attractive enough for younger ones who want to follow. Because these videos I'm talking about is young people that are creating it. So if your child has that desire to be creating things to put on TikTok, begin to train them and teach them that as a child of God, what is in you is what you should put out.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh.
Then one other thing I want to add to it is that let us help them for the schoolwork issue, where they want a laptop, they want a phone to do their research and all those things. Get a laptop or something in the house that they can use. One of the requirements for my students is they have to have a laptop in order to take the exam that they took online. And they have to do practice tests and other things from time to time. All these things, if you get them a laptop,
It's
make
better
sure
than a
it's
smartphone.
better than giving them a smartphone or even a tablet. Put parental restrictions on the places they can go to, size they can go to, and things that they cannot go to, times that they can be on it. There's this family safety, I think it's a Microsoft app that you can download, and it's part of your, if you have a Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office, is part of one of the things
the
that you
family,
can have. Yes, Microsoft Family
Then
thing.
how many people even buy it?
Oh, but these are things that we should invest into.
These days people are buying. We have been cracking.
Instead of investing into all these other junk stuff. These are some of the things that we need to invest into. You invest into an
Microsoft
iPhone for a
365.
child. You pay so much money for
11,000,
iPhone 8, 10,
14,000.
11, whatever, for a child. Buy a laptop, buy a Microsoft Family or Microsoft Office yearly subscription or whatever, so that it's for all the family. You have access to all the children. They have their, and help them set up emails. And all their emails that they will set up, you will be like the default email that if they forget, it comes to your email address, okay? So you can use that to monitor them. That they'll go, you set up different, what do you call it? User accounts on their laptops for them. And so that this person has this amount of time that they can go on there. If their time
mails.
comes, the laptop will go off. They cannot go on there.
And the location.
And the location too.
It should be open place.
Yes, facing an open place when they are on it. And then they are even, you can, in the family safety, you can even decide where they can go to, which browser that they can even use. Some browsers they don't have permission to use. So it's all these are there. Let's learn and get them access, because they need it to study. In the time we are in, they need it to study. They need to type their research papers. We are teaching them to write papers and all those things at this age. So they need some of the laptop. It's better than a phone or a tablet, as I said. And when they want to use anything on the website, they want to use an app, they want to go, they want to download something, they want to watch something, one of the questions that you should ask them is that, how will this add anything to your life?
Exactly.
Ask them that question. Just pose the question, how will this app that you are getting, how is it going to add anything to your life? What is it going to add to your life? What are you going to get out of this thing that you want to be on? Pose that question to them. See, let's give open-ended questions. It's not just instructions. Do this, don't do this, do this. Ask them. That's the dialogue. Will this help you? How will it help you? How much will it, what will it do for you? What are you gaining from it? Ask them those questions, and when they're giving their answers, based on the answers that you give them, you begin to guide them. Well, this is what you have said, but I don't think that being on your phone till 10 p.m. or till 11 p.m. will help you to sleep enough. You won't have enough sleep. And if you don't have enough sleep, you are not going to be as productive as you have to be. You'll be tired and grudging in the morning. You cannot study. So we need to have these discussions with them in everything that they are doing. As far as technology is concerned, that's the only way that we can help our kids.
Thank you so much.
A quick one.
Yes.
Until they are adults, where they are working to buy their own devices. all devices below the adult age, it should not be in their name.
No.
It should be as a family tenant.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't have ownership of it. Because when they don't have ownership of it, you have bought it for them. You can now dictate they should come and put it down at 8 o'clock. You see, so when we are buying things for them, it shouldn't be, oh, this is for you. No, let them grow and then buy their own when they are grown-ups.
Yeah.
But until they are adults and working and buying this, it's for you, the parents, you have bought it for them. So you have every right to control and regulate the usage.
How I wish we can keep talking, but by all means, dear resource persons, we are going to come back to this hopefully before the end of the year or early next year again, because every day something new is coming on board. Our dear listeners, I know today we have learned so much, and Brian Edmund has suggested something. We are going to raise it with Beulah, and as a Beulah family, we are really going to think about it to implement, where we have a conference of all Christian parents coming together to learn the rudiments of some of these family things that we are talking about, to help our children to be technologically savvy, but at the same time, people who are dignified, who go on social media to contribute to Christianity. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you to Reverend Maxine Eben for opening our eyes. I've written a lot, and I know God grants me the wisdom as I handle a lot of teens and a lot of young adults in my professional life and also at home, to make sure that we are bringing a generation of young people who love the Lord, who are on social media for the right purpose, who will not be influenced, my apologies, negatively. So I want to say a very big thank you to all of you for joining us tonight, for coming to listen to this wonderful topic. Our numbers are still open. You can still send your questions, and then we'll send it to our resource persons to help you answer. So I want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight for Beulah Family Hour. And next week, Sunday, definitely at 7 p.m., we'll be here live again on a different topic altogether. On that note, I want to say thank you for joining us, and don't change the dial, because Orange 107.9 is going to play very good music. I mean, Christian soothing music to usher you into tomorrow, and I know you're going to love it. I mean, my radio is always tuned there on Sunday evenings as they bless my heart with beautiful worship, and I know that you're going to really prepare yourself to the new week. We pray that the new week will be a good week, a blessed week, a fruitful week, a productive week, as then free, no crying, no wailing, full of wisdom, discernment. May the Lord lead us and bless us. So a week by this time we'll be here learning more at the feet of Christ. God bless us all. We are out for now.
Sit.